Hello everyone, good morning. This is Julie in front of you. Today I will be presenting a strategic analysis of the Russian economy is of April 2026. Our focus today isn't just on the surface level figures but on the structural metamorphosis Russia is undergone over the past 4 years. We will examine how a G20 economy has transit from Western integration to a specialized, Eastern oriented, and resource heavy model. We will navigate through the lens of economic theory, current data, specifically looking at the 2026 GDP forecasts at the looming demographic challenges that defines the Russian protest economy today. Now, I'm going to next slide. This slide's name Introduction to Russia. To the states, to set the states, Russia remains the largest country by landmass, factor that fundamentally detects its economy DNA through vast natural resource and endowments as of mid-April 2026. The macroeconomic picture is one of the managed um, deceleration. Following the high growth, military Keynesian military um, Keynesian of 2023 to 2024, we are now seeing a cooling effect. The 2026 GDP forecast is currently pegged at 0.8 to 1.2%. This slowdown reflects the exhaust of intensive production capacity and the restrictive impact of sustained high interest rate. Despite this, Russia's fiscal position remains resilient due to how commodity prices, though the quality of growth has shifted from consumer led to test investment led sectors. Now I am going to next slide. Economic challenges, the triple constraint. Russia currently faces a triple constraint sanctions, labor scarcity, and inflationary pressure. The most processing domestic issue is the labor market. We are seeing a record low unemployment rate of 2.2% in a standard MBA context. Um, low unemployment is good, but in Russia today, this indicates a severe overheating and critical shorts of human capital. This labor crunch is driving a waste price spiral, forcing the Central Bank of Russia to maintain double digit interest rates, exiting 16 to 18%. To prevent the economy from spiraling into hyperinflation. Simultaneously, the 15,000 plus 15,000 plus sanctions currently active have creative permanent compliance tax on all imports complicating supply chain and increasing the cost of technological maintenance. So now I'm going to another slide. This slide's name's economic theory, applying Hackshaw online. So to understand Russia's trade behaviors, we apply the Heckscher-Ohlin theory. HO posits the country will export goods that make intensive use of its relatively abundant factors of production. Russia is factor abundant in land and natural resources like oil, gas, palladium, wheat, this type. Conversely, it is factor scarce in high-tech capital and skilled labor. Therefore, even under heavy sanctions, Russia's trade pattern remains stubbornly consistent with HO theory. It continues to be a global resource tap. The theory explains why Russia's peep to the east was economically inevitable. So they needed new markets that are willing to exchange capital in intensive goods like Chinese electronics and machinery for Russia's resource intensive exports. Now I'm going to another slide. International trade policies, the strategic pivot. Russia's trade policy is defined by three pillars. The pivot to the east, import substitution, and the BRICS bridge. The pivot to east is no longer a choice but a realized reality with over 90% of energy exported now directly towards Asia, primarily China and India. The BRICS bridge is a critical 2026 development. It is a multilateral digital settlement platform designed to bypass the SWIFT system, utilizing blockchain and central bank digital currency to facilitate sanctions proof trade. Import substitution continues to push of technological uh, sovereignty, though success remains uneven, particularly in high-end semiconductor and aviation. Now I am going to slide another slide. Impact of trade policies, shadow fits and ionizations. The impact of these policies has led to the emergence of the shadow fleet, a massive aging fleet of tankers with OPEC ownership used to transport Russia's oil above the CG7 price caps. This has effectively neutralized the primary Western tool of economic questions. Furthermore, we are witnessing the unionization of the Russia financial system. The Chinese yuan has replaced the dollar and euro as the most trended currency on the Moscow exchange. However, this creates a new asymmetric dependency. Russia is increasingly reliant on Chinese technology, standard, and payment system, trading Western dependence for a more singular Eastern dependence. Now, I am going to another slide. Sustainability outlook 2026 to 2031. The demographic oral. Looking towards the next 5 years, the primary threat to sustainability isn't financial but demographic. Projections indicate a labor gap of 12 million workers by 2031. This is due to an aging population, the brain drain of tech professional, and the diversion of labor to the defense sector. Without 12 million additional workers, Russia's potential GDP growth will likely be capped at 1% or less indefinitely. For the 2026 to 2031 period, Russians' economic survival depends on whether it can successfully automate industries to competence for the missing labor of attracts significant migration from Central Asia and friendly nations. So now I am going to final slide, this slide conclusion. This slide's names the new economic equilibrium. Um, in summary, the Russian economy in 2026 is a study in resilient, resilient adaptation under constant. We have seen the uh, 0.8 to 1.2% growth forecast signals a new normal of slow test directed development. The 2.2% unemployment rate, while appearing as strong, is actually a structural bottleneck. The Hackshaw-Olin theory remains the best predictor of Russia's trade resource abundance, finding new ways to reach global markets through shadow fleets and yuan denominated trend. The ultimate test for Russia will be whether its peep to the east can provide the technological innovation needed to overcome its massive 12 million workers level labor deficit by 2031. Next slide reference. Uh, the final slides listed the comprehensive sources used in the breaches. All citations follow the Harvard referencing style, including data from the Central Bank of Russia, World Bank forecast of 2026, and recent academic journals on BRICS digital integration. So that's it. Thank you all, and thank you for listening to me.